What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Opinionated Off Topic. Today I'm with Carlos Mojica, co-owner, co-founder of Opinionated Media. I'm Cam Theory, and I'm also with Eli, or the Golden Cricket, or Cricket Lord MMA, whatever he decides to go by. But we're about to have a great conversation with him. Met him probably like 2-3 months ago. It was at like the beginning of the summer. We're going to get him on a long time ago. Things kind of fell through, but it's super good to meet him in person, connect with him, and he's hilarious, great dude, and I love what he's doing. He does a lot of stuff, jack of all trades. So I'm going to dive into his story, and hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Hell yeah, dude. We're here. We're family. Welcome to Olive Garden.
Your most recent, what was it? Was it Instagram? Was it most recent Instagram post?
It's the one that went super viral because I thought it was hilarious.
That
First put it out, and then he posted on his story like yesterday and was like hit 1 million. I was like, damn, I didn't know it hit 1 million. So
Yeah, that shit popped off. It was crazy. I've been trying to work the algorithm for a while now and just shooting out different types of stuff and seeing what sticks. Because I got like 11 personalities in my brain, so I can just write from a lot of different places. And I've been putting out a lot of shit that they don't really go together, a lot of them. And then it was motivational for a while, and then some were just funny. Turns out the most marketable part of the algorithm is just being like, hey, I'm gay.
Makes sense.
The government's just trying to turn everyone gay. And they're just trying to fluff up the algorithm with it.
And the algorithm is tricky too, because I feel like it's just like, it's never the same. It's always like moving different ways. So that's like the hard part of like trying to catch an algorithm.
Yeah, it is kind of moving. Actually, I don't even know what I'm talking about though. I don't even know how I don't think anyone knows how that works. But that clip hit 1.4 million. And like when I log onto my Instagram, it's like 1.2 million accounts have been reached by you or something like that. I'm like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And it was wild feeling a clip go past 1 million, but it wasn't like that crazy. It was just like, all right, well, and then what? Like, what is this? What is this? What happens now? And I didn't get too many followers from it.
Really? Because that was gonna be my next question. Like, did you grow a lot from it or anything like that?
Maybe a couple hundred.
Okay.
But I've also been actively deleting. Some dude like bought me fake followers.
So
I swear to God, I didn't do it myself.
So you're like trying to like do the like clean scrubbing, like removing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole like caring about Instagram. I really think it's stupid, but like it's not at all because you got to care about it. It's part of business, but it's just like. It's like if you were working construction and they just came out with this new tool and it's very useful, but it's just like a hot pink dildo. It's like this, damn, like, but you know, you got to get the job done.
Yeah.
So Instagram's just a dildo wrench, basically.
It's very important in today's age and for what we're all trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's like your resume to the world, social media. It allows people, like when they see you, when you meet someone and then they add you and they see that you have like a history of posting and like views and stuff, it almost gives people like a trust in you that like you're not just some random person off the streets. Like there's stakes or like people know you exist or something. It's kind of like I don't know. I'm still trying to understand it.
Yeah. Because, like, after this, you're going to a comedy show, but, like, I guess Theo Von and Drewski, like that, like, Instagram helped them become, maybe not Theo, I don't know much about Theo Von. He knows more about it. At least Drewski, like, that helped, like, Instagram just helped him so much just to get where he's at now.
Or, like,
I
people
don't know who that is.
Drewski?
So it didn't help him enough.
Really?
Wow. He's pretty much, maybe if you saw a picture of him, but he's not like an.
Is he a comedian?
Yeah, he's like the like a bigger black guy that like was with Jack Harlow. Does that ring a bell at all? Really? Who's some of your favorite comedians?
Shane Gillis right now.
He's hilarious.
Doug Stanhope is my all-time favorite. Oh, I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's a comedian? I thought he was a rapper.
No, he hangs out with a lot of
he hangs out
rappers.
with a lot
It's
of
just
rappers.
he's like a skit comedian, not like
Yeah.
a stand-up comedian.
okay.
Like kind of like a Trevor Wallace.
Like a Black Uncle Laser?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just a skit comedian, and he's just Instagram just blew him the fuck up, and then next thing you know, he was just hanging out with the most known people in the world.
I guess going into that, like the different levels of comedy, like kind of what is your kind of lane? Are you like trying to do more stand up? Are you trying to do like more skits? Are you trying to do like more edgy jokes? Like, I guess where do you see your lane?
As far as comedy is concerned, I just love doing stand up. Just being able to like control a room and just making people laugh, man. It's so fucking fun and cool, and just to be like up there, just when it's going well, and they're just hanging on to your every word and just laughing at everything you're saying. It's like that's when I feel like I'm most myself, and I'm just like I can just say whatever, and I don't have to worry about the implications of like. There's a lot of shit I say on stage that I wouldn't say in real life.
Yeah,
And up there, it's like art.
yeah. Just comedy kind of like gives you a pass, kind of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because like going into a comedy show, you can't be offended by anything. Like you're going to a comedy show, like you have to expect some kind of derogatory stuff being said. Like you can't be offended easily by anything. Like that's the whole point of like a comedy show, and like that's how comedians are.
Yeah, like if I worked my whole career just to go up and offend one specific group of people, everyone would just have to let that happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you risk crumbling the entire infrastructure of comedy. But I would like to do more skits just because of the reach.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a lot of funny ideas already, but I never think of it in like skit form. But I have been doing this thing recently where I got up to, I had like 800 YouTube subscribers when I started this. Now I'm over 1,600. And what I've been doing is basically telling my dog jokes. Like YouTube Shorts has a Vine style of recording where you hold down the button. So I'll just hold it down on me saying something. I'll flip it around on his face, and then I'll say something, and that'll be the punchline. And then it'll bomb, and it'll just be like my dog, just like I'm
Looking
bombing
at
to
you.
my dog. And I could just say anything, man. I put like, it's got to the point where I put in such minimal effort into making these. I don't even know what is going to happen until I press record, and then I just wing it, and then they'll get like thousands of views, and I'll get like 30 subscribers in a day. So I've just been pumping those out, doing like 15 of those days. They're all really stupid. Sometimes they're funny, but I don't.
How challenging is that? Just like grabbing your phone, like, all right, fuck it, here goes nothing, and just bam, record.
It's super easy, man. And a lot of what I look for in life is efficiency based. I look for how I can get the maximum results with the minimum amount of effort. And for the most part, yeah, there's always going to be some level of effort, but it is possible to minimize it in such a way to where you can leverage your time better. I mean, that's essentially what every successful entrepreneur does.
Yeah.
It's like instead of trading their time for money, try to figure out how to make their money work for them so that they can utilize their time to build new skills.
Do you think that, I guess, making your own skits before you even shoot it would be funnier than, like, I guess, some of the dumb ones you said?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's harder, though?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also more pressure because if I like actually try and then it flops, and I'm like, I'll just put on all this effort for nothing.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I'll say this: once it starts getting to the point where I actually have a legit following, I would switch that up. This low level spammy humor content is acceptable for where I'm at now, but like, you know, if I got like millions of subscribers, it would be disrespectful at that point.
Yeah.
It would just like I'd be making money off that. So
Yeah.
but like, fuck this. I'm doing this for free. You get what you pay for. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it makes
yeah,
sense.
I know, true.
I don't know if, like, since was Theo Vaughn the same way? Was he like on Instagram and that's how he blew up, or was he already just?
Well, what's crazy is how I found out about him is from podcasts. Like, because obviously we have a podcast, and like I just listen to those, and I just found him on there, and I was like, bro, he is hilarious. And then when he interviews people, like he conducts an interview, but he's telling jokes the whole time, and he's just funny. So I was just like, all right. Then I was like, oh, he's obviously a comedian, and then he does stand up, goes on tours and whatnot. So I mean, I feel like you can have that route. I feel like, because I mean, you look at Peyton and Cam, like they're technically comedians, but they have a podcast, and then doing skits or doing stand up. I feel like there's just so many ways to enter it, as opposed to the traditional route was doing stand up, maybe going on tours, and then maybe you get recognized by talent, and then you kind of become like a George Lopez or Dave Chappelle, maybe get on a TV show. So now it's different with the
Movies and
internet.
whatnot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think when it comes to becoming a successful stand-up, actually doing stand-up is like the least important like media format to like grow,
Really?
which makes no sense. Well, I mean, because it's just math, you know. You can only talk to so many people per show, however many is in that room. But like whatever's online can reach everyone.
Reach everywhere. Yeah. How long you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for like over 7 years now.
Would you say it's for people who are like getting into it now? It's a lot easier for them to do it now than it was, I guess, back then.
Well, in Austin for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, because Joe Rogan, he does comedy here, but is that like something?
It depends how you measure it. It's easier in terms of your ability to reach more people because of the internet. But there's also probably more competition than there's ever been. Because being a comedian is like the easiest, best job ever. You just do a bunch of drugs and then go talk about it and make jokes. And that's pretty much it.
When Joe Rogan came here and does his comedy thing, is that like for just him, or can like anybody get on that?
What?
Joe Rogan, because he lives in Austin
Can anyone
now.
get on what?
The little comedy thing he does, because he hosts like I don't know if he hosts, but he
Little
has like,
comedy thing he does? You mean the comedy mothership?
is that what it's called?
Yeah.
No, I don't follow Joe Rogan that much. I just know that
Really?
I don't really follow Joe Rogan like that.
But you like comedy and UFC?
I wouldn't say like comedy because I don't watch comedy like that, but I do like UFC.
Oh, you're not that big of a comedy fan? Okay.
Nah. I mean, I'm a big, like, if it's on, I'm gonna watch it and listen to it, and I enjoy it. But I'm like go out of my way to like watch some form of comedy. Like I don't just go and watch like if somebody has like a stand up coming to Austin, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go watch him. Or if somebody had something released on HBO, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go watch that. Like if it's on, I'll watch it. If it's not, oh well.
Yeah, dude. I used to get home from school every day and put on Comedy Central, and I would just watch hours of stand up every day.
I never did that. Like I never watched like consistently the Dave Chappelle show.
Do you think we have innate passions we're drawn to from pre-birth, or are we just collages of our childhood experiences?
that is a good question, because did you play sports growing up?
No.
So like, I guess like we put like playing sports growing up, we did that, but it's like obviously we always like gamed or watched like a ton of movies or like TV, and we're kind of not in that realm, but I feel like that creative expression, like the only thing I would say for me at least that like sports has helped with is just being able to like know how to work and like be accountable and things like that. But like the creative expression, like I feel like that does come from what you experienced as a kid, you know?
Yeah, I would
That's a
say
good-
we're collages of our childhood. Because I mean, you grow up as a kid, then you see something you like, and then you just continue like that, like pretty much the rest of your life. And obviously, like I'm wearing UT stuff, so I grew up a Longhorn fan, and I'm gonna like UT the rest of my life, and I'm gonna watch UT and wear UT. And then unfortunately, I'm a Cowboy fan, so same thing. I'm just gonna watch and cheer them on the rest of my life. So I think it's just I feel like we're collages of like what our childhood was, because that's like where you start liking stuff, and obviously you pick up new stuff growing up, just because there's some stuff you just didn't have access to as a kid. But I feel like for the most part, your core self stems from your kid, when you're a child.
We're just a big old DNA and memory soup,
Is that what you think?
I guess.
Yeah.
Life's weird.
It is. It is. There's a lot of deja vu moments in life.
Yeah, man. Deja vu moments are crazy. I'm just like,
I
definitely
think
did that.
the key to life is to not think that much. Like that thing I just did. That,
Yeah, I saw you looking around and analyzing. You're
you
like,
start looking for answers and you realize you didn't want to ask those questions. You can't look into the void without the void looking back at you, you know?
Yeah.
True.
And my problem is I think too much.
Yeah. I've gotten better at thinking less.
Yeah. Sometimes
That,
you just got to do it.
Yeah, sobriety helped a lot with that. I started smoking weed again, but life's just too...
I understand. Nah, for sure. I understand.
So I don't say that I'm sober now, by the
Okay.
way. I'm not like, I'm sober, but I smoke weed. No, I'm not sober. But I'm only smoking weed. And before that, I did DMT like 100 times in a month.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh.
I was very excessive about psychedelic usage.
Really?
And it got to the point where like, I was just looking for answers, man. I just wanted to see what the whole world was about and the universe and everything and just peel back the veil on reality and take a look at the motherboard. And I don't know, pretty much figured it all out, and it's kind of fucked up, and I don't want to think about it anymore. So I just went sober, and the combination, it wasn't just being sober that really tied things together. It was being sober combined with distracting myself through like work and exercise for long enough to where when the thoughts would creep back in, it would be like midnight and it's like, oh, it's bedtime. And then I just go to sleep and then just fucking push it all off until the end and then you don't have time for it. And eventually it just kind of withers away.
Because I remember when I first met you, like you were just telling me like you had just recently been sober. I think you were like maybe a month sober at that time. And it's cool to like just see like your progression. Because I remember I was just like, so how are you like dealing with that?
Cool to see your downward spiral.
Nah. But
I remember when I met you and you weren't a fucking loser. Now look at you.
Nah, but it's
Rooting around in the gutter.
no, it's been cool to see like your progression and you know just because you were like I do mixed martial arts and I tell jokes and then obviously you work on your business, which you'll get into later, and that's kind of been like your focus on all that. So I guess too, when you decided to go sober, is that when you went to Thailand and kind of had your journey over there?
Yeah, pretty much. Thailand was like, there was like 10 reasons why I went. And a big one was I just wanted to, it was kind of like a suicide mission. I was like, I think I'm just going to go out there and just blow my brains out somehow. And then I was like, knowing full well that I would work it out. But just that was the thought in the moment. And there was a bunch of other stuff going on. I was trying to get off antidepressants, which I had only been taking for like a year. I've always been antidepressant. And then I was like, I'll try them out. And then it seemed like they worked. I don't know if they worked or if my life just got better. It's hard to dictate what problems in your life are manufactured in your mind and what are actually there. So I think it's probably just a safe bet to just assume it's all in your mind, just because that gives you more control. But I was stressed about money and stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna go calculate how long I can live off my savings in Thailand. And there was a lot of reasons I went, but basically I wanted to like go through the suicidal withdrawals, just like away from people. I didn't want to just be a bummer, and I wanted to binge eat food, and it's very cheap over there. And also, when you're withdrawing from Cymbalta, you get like brain zaps to where you just be like sitting there and you're like, what the fuck? Like it feels like your brain gets electrocuted. And then I don't know. I didn't enjoy it over there. I mean, it was cool, but I wasn't like going there to have a good time.
Yeah.
I was going there to get over some shit, which I totally recommend. If you're going through some shit, fucking deal with it on vacation. Go to paradise and go figure your shit out. It's hard to be not grateful.
Well, I guess that makes sense because when you're here, you're still kind of around it. And then when you're somewhere that you don't know, not that you're uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable and you just got to get through this shit.
And I'm sure you were just like MIA too, like kind of off the grid and not like talking to people and stuff.
Yeah, for most of the days. And also, there's kind of like like people's perception of you kind of shapes you. So it's like I knew all these people here that have like an idea of who they think I am, and they expect me to be this certain way, which is kind of like restricting my movements, and I can like feel them as like fingers on a plasma ball that's like directing my energy. And I was just like, I want to just see how it feels to just get rid of all that. And I mean, for the most part, the whole time in Thailand, I was just like, dude, I fucking miss everybody. I want to go home.
How long were you there?
Like 3 months, 2 months.
Damn, that's a long ass time.
Yeah, it was a while. My plan was I was going to go out there, get a one-way ticket with the thought in mind. See, because I think so deeply and calculated about everything that I have to like trick myself. So I was like, I'm going to go out here. And then I had a little plan that didn't come to fruition. But basically, I ended up getting stuck out there for like a month because the return flights were just too expensive. Which was part of my plan. I had a brief thought, and I was like, I'm going to forget it so I can fool my future self.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And because it's like, are we hitting that 30-minute mark yet?
Well,
You have like
yeah.
5 minutes. You're good. If you want to finish your thought.
Yeah, because in a way, something I like to do that if I'm feeling down, I'll do this thing called dopamine fasting, where I'll restrict my diet, social life, exercise, water intake. I'll just basically mildly torture myself to an extent for like a day or two. And then when I decide to snap out of it and wake up, then I hydrate, eat, exercise, I go be around my friends, and I just blast myself with that surge of like all of this good stuff happening that it like snaps me out of a downward spiral.
Interesting. And kind of what made you like want to try that out, I guess? Like what was like your thought process coming to that?
I guess it was. I've had a lot of women say that like I self-sabotage relationships. And I was always like, no, I'm traumatizing myself so I can grow and become stronger. So it was always kind of like a thought that I've had that like you need to like punish yourself in a way to grow. And women will tell you that's not true. But if you're a woman, you should listen to them. But the advice, you can't take advice like that. You can't like switch genders on advice like that too. Like I've been dealing with lately the thought of between like letting the universe take control and just trusting in God and just letting things flow and being like, no, fuck this. I'm going to like bend reality to my will. And that's like the feminine masculine dynamic. Because men should like we should all be like stressed out. Like, bro, I need to get fucking rich. Like, or the rest of your life's going to suck. You have to worry about that. You can't just be like, I'm just going to be free. But if you meet a chick that's like, oh, I need to be a fucking billionaire, you're gonna be like, bro, I'm not fucking dating you. Like, have fun on your corporate journey. I'm not really here for that. So you want to meet a woman that is like, yeah, just trust in the universe. And then you're like, hey, what's up? I'm the universe. Yeah, basically, I think there's a time and a place for trusting in the universe and taking control of the universe. Because sometimes the universe plan for you is, it sucks. Sometimes the universe wants you to be homeless and starve to death. That happens sometimes, but you got to be stronger than the universe. And that's why it's a difference between being happy and being successful. There's a lot in common, but like financially successful, you're not going to get there by just being like, well, life is amazing. Like you got to think about blowing your brains out. You gotta be stressed. You gotta think you're gonna be on the streets next month. That's the fire that you gotta have inside you that keeps you going and keeps you moving. Because without that, if you're just comfortable and just happy with where you're at, then you're just complacent and you're not growing, you're not building anything, you're just maintaining. Which that may sound cool for a lot of people. Like, I've been thinking about Mike Tyson lately, about how he went from being the heavyweight champ to like now he doesn't box anymore. And you can tell that like weighs on him. And he says it, how he used to be the champ and now he's like just some guy. But you've seen the avenues he takes to turn that around by like all these companies he's investing in and like doing all this weed stuff. And I see on Instagram all the time, he's like got all these new business deals. And it's just that fire to push and stay relevant. He's probably made more money in the last year than like ever. You know, I'm basing that off absolutely nothing. I don't know if that's true,
It's probably true.
but yeah, I mean, he started a big weed company. He's a giant drug dealer. Sounds like a recipe for success.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty sure he's in California, and it's Mike Tyson. So of course you're just gonna oh shit, it's Mike Tyson. I'm buy it.
Your name holds.
You're just gonna buy it.
It's another thing I've been thinking about lately is branding, and I've been working on branding myself. You know, just like all those clips I've been releasing and stuff. But like, you got to be the best at something for it to really hit, and it kind of sucks doing it without being the best at anything yet, and just like, hey, you should listen to me, but like, why though? You know? But there's so many other people that are bullshitting out there. I don't like feel bad about it. But at first I was like, I don't know if I could do that clip stuff. Like, I don't have the resume to back it up. And then I was like, neither do a lot of these people. Fucking, I'll build it.
Yeah, and like
I've done a lot more than a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean that's just how you're supposed to start. I mean, you just got to start, and that's how you.
Yeah, a lot of people just start. They turn on the camera, start talking, and then, like you said, I mean, even though you probably didn't grow as much as you would think from a clip hitting 1 million views, you still are. You put it out, it hit 1 million views. So it's like maybe the algorithm starts putting out more of your content. Maybe people are like, oh, if they go to your page, oh, he has a clip with 1 million views, like. All right, he must be doing something right. And because, I mean, that's how I look at it, too, because we've been doing content for 4.5 years, and, I mean, we've never had anything even hit, like, 100K, maybe a couple things, but, like, 1 million views, it's like, you know what I mean? So you just got to start, too, because, like you said, branding is huge. There's people that, you know, you get on social media, and like you were saying earlier, Instagram, like, kind of is your resume, but there's also people who have huge businesses, $1 million businesses, but only have like 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers. Maybe they just want to be private or, you know, separate that, build up their business or whatever. But I also feel like people recognize your face. They're like, okay, for me, if I see you, I'm like, oh, stand up, does mixed martial arts, and then has a super dope like cricket protein company. You kind of brand yourself as that, and then you just walk around and like, oh, that's Eli. He does all these things.
Yeah, sorry for making you have to remember all that.
Nah, it's easy. I mean, that also shows it's like what resonates too, and then it's also cool to like put everything together. I remember we went to Pouch Chicks the first time. Shout out the guys over there. They were talking about your cricket bars, and I hadn't even met you yet. And then I meet you
that was last year.
Then I meet him at Matt's dinner, and I'm just like, oh, this is great. Like everyone's like kind of in that same spiderweb network. We're all trying to do the same thing essentially. So
yeah, I fucking love Austin, man. I love how connected everyone is and how
Everyone's dope.
Yeah, everyone's dope. Everyone's dope. I don't have problems with anyone ever. No. Everyone I meet, I like, which is not something I've always said. That's like an Austin thing.
Yeah.
Everyone I meet in Austin, I like.
Because it's like, you got your LA, which is like snobby. Same thing with like New York, and it's like really fast. And then you got Texas, where, I mean, Austin is just like, for the most part, everybody's happy. Everybody's willing to like be cool with you and whatnot and give you time of day, and don't have many assholes here.
Yeah, it's because everyone's kind of like a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
So if someone introduces you, then they already have like the verification of that person. So there's like layers of acceptance, I think.
Yeah, since I'm Cam's friend and y'all are friends, now you're my friend because
yeah, or
if
just
Cam accepts you, I'm gonna accept you.
Yeah, just like I liked him because I liked Matt, and then I'm like, I'm probably gonna like you as soon as I walked in. And I'm like, yeah, you know, so like it's not a conscious thing. It's just
just how it is.
Yeah.
Well, subconsciously, it's like that's how it is. Yeah. Or where are you originally from? Here?
Southern California.
Southern California.
All over Southern California.
Okay. When'd you move to Austin?
About 3 years ago.
Nice. And you look back since?
No, I don't miss it. I love it here.
Yeah, we went to San Diego. Was it this year?
That was like 2 years ago now.
Well,
yeah, because I mean I've been to San Diego twice and LA twice, and I like San Diego a lot. LA is, I mean, I mix emotions about LA. Like it's cool, but it's not somewhere I'd live. It's like I'd go there for a week for work, come back type of deal for me. That's how I look at LA.
I hated LA because of the traffic. That's
Yeah.
really it. People were cool.
Oh my gosh.
People are like, oh, LA sucks. They're shallow and they only care if you're good looking. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I liked it.
That's the shitty thing about Austin now is the fucking traffic. It's like, dude,
Yeah, literally, he was texting
Oh
me.
man.
it's getting so bad just because so many people are moving here and just the roads just aren't big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was driving over here sober. I was like, I'm gonna be sober on this podcast. And then I missed one turn and it added on like 10 minutes and I had to fucking just sit and stand still. And I was like, you know what? Hit the old pen,
I ain't doing shit else.
cranked up some System of a Down, worked through
Nice.
my anger. Except I didn't. I was using drugs. I'm fucking up right now. See, this is a relapse. I'm in the middle of a relapse. I've been relapsing for a month, just on weed, only weed. Delta 9 edibles, they're legal. You can buy them at the smoke shops here. But this is the top rock bottom I've ever hit. This is like, I've done a bunch of other drugs when times were rough in the past. So I'm still at the top of my game, at the bottom of my game from last week, or last month. So it's still progress.
I was gonna ask you two questions. One, what'd you learn about yourself while you're in Thailand for those 2 to 3 months? And then two, why'd you choose to go back to weed?
Why'd I choose what?
To go back to weed, just to keep start smoking again.
So I've been to Thailand a few times. The most recent time, what I learned about myself, I guess that I'm not that special and I'm extremely average in the grand scheme of things. And then why I started smoking weed again was because I was angry and wanted to fight everyone. Never did that. I never do that. I always keep it cool. But the thoughts are in there and they're disrupting.
Is that just like a mellow for you? Like it just chills you out?
Yeah, for sure. If I get high enough, I'm like too scared to even fight. I'll be like, can we fight tomorrow?
Do you like meditate or anything?
I was doing that for a while. I need to get back on my sober streak, man. Things were going really well. Everything was going great.
Do you feel like a difference in your body and your mind when you're like completely sober?
Yeah, absolutely. But like I was saying, it's not the sobriety that was so helpful, but the activities I had to do to stay productive. So instead of like, I'm going to get high and stare at a wall and listen to music and laugh about how short a tree is, I'm going to go train or go work on my business and just always just staying busy with stuff that like I care about and that I want to make happen. Like I'm working on a new business right now. I'm drop shipping supplements on Amazon. I'm not going to specify too much because other people don't do that, and they must have something figured out.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to put it on the Golden Cricket store. It's going to be not related to crickets at all, but it's looking like the crickets are going to be more of a long haul thing, and like I'm still getting. When I run ads, people are like commenting like that I'm working for Klaus Schwab and I'm part of the global elite and trying to enslave humanity. And on one hand, like that sucks because I want money because I need food to eat so I can live. And then on the other hand, I'm like, well, hey, look, America's taking a stand. It's like I'm kind of like, I'm proud of you guys. But also, fuck, dude. I need money.
Well, I wonder if like people are like that because that made me immediately think of like the Liver King. Like he's like jacked, like super good in shape. He's selling like liver products, and you don't hear of people just like eating straight liver products. But obviously, he was like on roids and like all that stuff. So, and he claimed it was really just that he claimed he was like natural. I feel like if he was like, oh yeah, I take steroids and stuff, then like I don't think people would have been like, okay, like. Fuck the Liver King. But since he like claimed that he was natural by doing the liver stuff, I feel like now people are just like, oh, if I see something new that I've never heard of, like for example, cricket protein, they're like, I don't know, it's not common. So like you said, probably more of like a long haul thing. But at least for me, my feedback on those is I was telling him, I was like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like they're pretty good. Like I like them. Like when you've had them, very good taste. Like the banana chocolate, I think it's fantastic, and I like how much protein they have. And then when you were explaining it, like you were saying, like how much water that crickets like hold or retain, and I probably don't know the specifics. You could probably get into it, but
Well, that was gonna be my next thing. Is another reason here is your business you do. It is called Golden Cricket. Obviously in America, it's not a common thing for people to eat crickets. But I don't know what the hell I was watching one day, probably like Discovery or some National Geographic or something. I don't know, man, versus something. But I think he was in Thailand and like they have like a what's it called, kebab or whatever, but like crickets on a stick, and people just eat them.
That's where I had it first.
Is that where you had it first? Is that
Yeah.
where like the idea just kind of started from?
Yeah, I ate a scorpion when I was in Thailand.
How was that?
It was delicious.
Really?
Yeah, and then I did some research. Turns out insects are super nutritious and sustainable. So ever since then, I was 22. It was just a thought that I held or a belief that I was like, oh yeah, people should eat bugs. And it never really came out unless it was a topic of conversation. Then I just come in with my little fun fact about how they're like mostly protein. And then it wasn't until I started like building a community out in Austin, and I had a bunch of people connect in the comedy community, a bunch of people in my martial arts gym, people on my team. And I was like, well, I can make this company. I could sponsor comedy shows. I could sponsor MMA fighters. I could be putting money back into the communities that I care about. And I could also, create this product that's weird and cool and innovative, and no one's doing it. And I think my buddy came up with the name Golden Cricket. My buddy does all the artwork for it. Like I tell him my vision, and then he just like makes it happen. He's a fucking very talented guy. And he has another company called Hone, which is a cordyceps matcha blend tea. It's really good. Increases cardio for sure. Like, so he was involved in that world, the CPG, consumer packaged goods, which is what my protein bar is in. And so he kind of got me connected with certain things here and there, and I don't know, there's a lot of moving parts, and it's been a pretty interesting ride. I'd say my favorite part is probably just like talking to people, and a lot of people are really interested in it and intrigued. And it is interesting because crickets are 65% protein by weight. They contain all 9 essential amino acids. They use 2,000 times less water to produce than whey protein. They're a natural prebiotic. They're high in calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron, potassium. They're high in fiber. They're just not that appetizing to be eaten raw, or even I wouldn't even eat them like grilled, but like powdered up into a protein bar. Like, fuck it, man. Like, I love protein bars because I'm always on the go. I don't always have time to stop and cook a meal or go to a restaurant. So that I'll have like 5 protein bars in a day. I'll just be pulling over at different 7-Elevens being like, what do we got here? Check out the label. Oh, it combined less than 10 grams of sugar. Cool. I can sneak in my candy for the day too. Like, cause I got a sweet tooth. So it's like stems from that. And I was just like, yeah, I want to just create a product from scratch for a market that doesn't exist, and just try to convince everyone that I know what I'm talking about, which is insane. But the most fun things in life are, and it's a risk. And I got $150,000 in funding 7 months in. So, but like everything in life, nothing's consistent besides the work that you put in, which is why you got to maximize your own consistency. And whatever you're doing, you got to do it every day. And it kind of ties in with like it doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. And then you start callousing yourself to all these inconveniences or what have you. you start building up strength to perform these menial tasks without being as reactive to the fucking loading screen or the printer not working. And, eventually you have yourself a nice little business.
And I'm looking at like some of the stores, like you're in like over 10 stores in the Austin area. Was it like hard to convince those stores to put your product there?
Not really. I hired my brother to do most of that. That was also part of the dream. I was like, I want to put money in communities I love. I want to hire my family. So it's been awesome to be able to create these opportunities for people around me. But yeah, it wasn't too hard of a sell. I gave him the script. I have a history in sales. I know how a sales script works, and threw in a dash of comedy. Like there's like a joke that's part of the pitch. Naturally, I just have to make jokes. I don't even mean to a lot of the time, but the comedic factor in a business pitch is something no one talks about, but I've noticed is pretty crucial for me. Like I get people laugh a few times, and eventually they're like, "All right, I'll buy it," And you see so much stuff on business coaching, like how to get that sale and close sales fast. No one's talking about cracking jokes, and I find that interesting because it's worked for me. So basically, we just come in and we just go in and say we're a local business and stuff, and then people want to help local businesses, and we're a family business, so that sounds even better. And we offer consignment on some of them, which is like they pay after, which the ones we do consignment on, those will get sold out, and then we'll have to replace them. So yeah, it wasn't hard to get in, but that's because we just talked to the manager of the store. They're like small stores that aren't corporate chains. Like I'm trying to get into HEB and stuff, but that's just, you got to go up like a chain of command, and I'm not even sure how that works yet.
Yeah, especially because like I feel like if this was at a place like Whole Foods, people are gonna go like people that normally go to Whole Foods like will try anything for the most part. So I feel like it would be super successful there, but it's like you said, just getting it there is probably beyond difficult too. I saw that you also have like a protein powder. Is that like also made with Cricut, or is that just like, okay, cool. So has that been like helping it move more? Because I remember when we talked, you were saying you wanted like your online orders to be more successful. Did you have that product at that time, or is that kind of something that's newer?
So that's a newer product. So I was not advertising the horchata because we got these bags in and then they ripped. So I paid a bunch of money for all these bags that I couldn't use to put the protein powder in. And it's horchata flavored.
Okay.
So we sold some of them like around town, and we were like, "Hey, be careful with the bag," which is it was either that or not make money.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not saying that was good business.
Yeah.
But I will say that it made us a bunch of money because we did like 1,000 in sales in the first day or two.
Wow.
Of having that, and that's selling way better. People like that product way more. The margins on it are way higher. It's easy to manufacture. I can do it myself. It's just mixing a bunch of powders together. And the powders is going to be the future. If we don't pivot to dog treats also.
I remember you saying that too.
Are they good for dogs? Well, I guess all that stuff in it.
Yeah, it's that same list of nutrients applies to when dogs eat it too.
Well, I mean, going back to what you said earlier, trying to make people believe you know what you're talking about. It's not like you remembered all that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I guess what's been the hardest part about like growing it besides trying to sell it to people? Like, I guess, have you gotten any negative feedback on it when people have tried the product?
No, I have not gotten negative feedback from people who have tried the product. Actually, one guy. A few guys, okay, maybe like 5 people on the bars. And we've sold like 10,000. On the powder, 0 people. Everyone loves the powder. I don't really like the powder that much, though. I'm not a protein powder guy. I like protein bars. This whole thing, the whole point was like, oh, insect protein bar. And then the market's like, nah, we want the powder. And now I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got to serve what the market asks for.
I guess it's just kind of on you what you think is easier. Because I feel like protein's kind of easier because you just take it. I mean, you could take a bar on the go. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it just depends because it's like if I'm about to work out, I'd rather grab a protein bar and eat that before the lift or whatever. But like with the protein powder, it's that to me, it's like I'll either make it prior, like the night before, to drink it in the morning, or I'll like drink it before I go to bed. Kind of.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing,
You know
man.
what I mean?
You got ingredients out. You're taking over the countertop. But like so many people say that to me, they're like, "Oh, you know, it's just easier to make a shake. You know, you just put a scoop in." That's not all that is.
No.
That's one of many scoops that need to go into this concoction. Mm-hmm. You're making a fucking potion. But hey, dude, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with my customers. I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, sure. I got more powder for you."
Yeah.
Brother.
No, I'm probably gonna have to get some of that for sure.
How difficult has it been just like making the powders and having the infrastructure to do it and then just getting the crickets as well?
I mean, everything's been easy except for waiting. Waiting, I've come to realize, is the most difficult part of life. I hate it.
Me too.
I refuse to wait often. If there's a line somewhere, I'm not going to eat there. If there's unless I like have to do something, they say patience is a virtue, but I think that patience is for poor people. I think that anyone who wants to be financially successful is not going to be like, "Oh yeah, I'll wait a reasonable amount of time to get my money." It's like, no, I want my money now. You got to be in a rush. And a lot of there's not a single person that tells me to be patient or like slow down or like rest is okay. No one's telling me that who has more money than me. You know what I mean? It's like always people that are, let the universe take control, people.
Yeah. Go with the flow, like kind of like it'll happen when it does happen. But I was telling him too, like with our stuff, it's just like you gotta make it happen. Like you gotta do stuff to make it happen because it's not gonna happen for you. You gotta, like you said,
bro. I didn't get here by going with the flow. I went here by saying fuck the flow. I'm grabbing reality and bending it to my will. And but that is exhausting. It takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to fucking let the universe take control.
Yeah.
But not too long, because then it's going to steer you down a bad path. Maybe. You don't know what the universe wants for you. It's not always good. There's a lot of bad, mostly bad.
True.
The universe does have a plan, and that plan is often a shitty plan. What were we talking about?
You're talking about basically you taking control of like you not wanting to wait places and like be places, and basically like you think patience is for poor people, and then you're like, sometimes I want the universe to take over. But I was gonna bring up, do you know Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
So what he does is his thing is like he works 10 days in a row, busts his ass 10 days in a row, or 9 days in a row, and then on that 10th day, that's like his rest day. And he'll do whatever he wants. He'll watch anime, eat whatever food he wants, whatever. And then the next 9 days, bust his ass. 10th day comes, rest. That's what he does.
That's kind of how I train.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anyone who trains is like, dude, fuck rest days. Like you got to just be in there all the time. It's very addicting.
You just want to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's just so exciting. Every day I just wake up and I'm like, what am I capable of today?
Yeah,
and just go duke it out with some guy.
It's like going back to what you said earlier. It's a different type of adrenaline. It's a different type of dope. Like the dopamine you get off of it is just, I mean, you can't explain it.
Mm-hmm. Well, winning a fight feels better than crushing on a comedy show, I think. But like if I do great on a show, I'll be happy for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Something could throw me off though. But when I win a fight, I'm happy for like days after.
You're just on a high.
And I can't really be thrown off. And it's because of first of all, you're winning something. You win a fight, that's a win. You know, at the most basic level. And it's important to create opportunities to allow yourself to win with with measurable challenges. Like, don't just be like, well, if I drive all the way to Pizza Hut, then I can reward myself with a pizza. It's like, that's too easy. You gotta, but you gotta make opportunities for yourself to get wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta. I mean, yeah, I feel that. Like, I've been using a planner a lot, and if I get hit on my goals, I'll put like, I don't know, whatever, like just whatever, just to feel like I'm working towards something instead of just like rewarding myself for essentially nothing, you know? Because like the work ethic thing, like you said with Mr. Beast or even with training, it's just like you get so addicted or like addicted to the craft. You're like putting in all this work, but then you also got to still live your life and take those breaks, because sometimes those breaks will cause that breakthrough. You're like, damn, I'm not doing anything. Then I see so-and-so doing something. It's like, let me go do something because they're doing something. Like, you're inspired by your friends, your community, your family, or even just your influences doing something. You're just like, dang, all right, I've been chilling for 2 hours. Let me get back at it, you know? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, life's lived in seasons. There's time to grow and there's times to sow. And like what you're saying, 9 days on, 1 day off, that's pretty solid. That's because I don't like taking rest days at all. But what I've started doing within the last few months is I'll allocate a day to where I'll prioritize everything before martial arts. Usually martial arts is number one. First thing I do when I wake up, I go train. Or if it's a later class, then I will arrange my schedule to make sure that I make it to that first class kind of thing. But I forgot what I was talking about.
You're talking about like kind of your schedule and just like how you go about your schedule and like taking days off or finding that time.
Oh yeah, I'll like plan out a bunch of other stuff before martial arts, and then by the time I get done with all the other priorities I have to take care of, which are usually more important than having to train, then I'm like, all right, I'm done with all that stuff, and it's like, oh well, it's too late to train now, so I'll kind of like trick myself into rest days by just putting a bunch of work that I have to
stuff.
do.
Yeah, makes sense. Last thing for me, just goals you have going forward with. It could be MMA, cricket, comedy that you have for the last half of the year.
I got a lot of goals, man. I want to blow Golden Cricket up to $10 million. I want to make some money off dropping rap music. I want to make money off comedy. Dude, I had my 8 Mile moment last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this. It was like an open mic for rappers at Flamingo Cantina. I was the only white dude, and I'm in shorts with a mullet and fucking like pit viper glasses on and a t-shirt.
Looking like Riff Raff.
I just looked like I ran in from a Southerner convention, CrossFit retreat. Like I looked like I was just flipping Confederate tires.
How'd it go?
Off and I crushed it, man. I went up there. I have this song called "Dick and a Gun," which is about how like you should just go through your life just assuming everyone has a dick and a gun, because you don't. Those are bad things to come across. You don't want anyone pulling one of those on you.
Facts.
So I just
Facts.
so just like everyone's got a gun and a dick. I'm gonna keep it cool. And
So like comedy rap.
yeah.
Yeah.
It goes dick and a gun, dick and a gun. Everyone you meet got a dick and a gun. I just go up there and I'm like, all right, how am I gonna like intro this? Because they let him talk for a little bit before, just like introduce himself. And I go up there and I'm like, what the fuck's up, Austin? You know, I don't trust a lot of women these days because a lot of these women are men. And then everyone laughed, but the people's face went from like, what the fuck, to just laughing. Which I love when I do that to people, because I can see that I confuse people, because I just, nothing about me makes sense, and if you don't know me, or if you do, I don't know. But I went up, I did the whole Dick and a Gun song, and then like just a bunch of black people were super stoked, and that's the best feeling is getting validation for hip hop from black people. Is like it really explains the two birds
In one stone.
One zone.
No, bird in the bush. A bird in the bush is worth 2 in the hand, right? So a black guy compliment is worth 2 white guy compliments.
Gotcha.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. How long have you been doing that?
Probably like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I don't know. I always wanted to do all this shit, but I guess I got like the confidence boost by just having a bunch of friends that are like, yeah, do it.
It helps.
Yeah, and the friends that I have that encourage it are like my favorite musicians and like very talented musicians. So like if anyone says like you suck at rapping, which no one says that, but like that voice in my head is like someone's out there, and even if that happened, it's like, well, you can't play music, so your opinion doesn't matter. I know people that are great at playing music that think it's good, so
That's all that matters. Do you have
Nah, I guess for me is just appreciate you pulling up. I definitely got to catch one of your stand-ups, like whenever, because we'll have times where we're not shooting as much. But if you're ever shooting on like a weekend or like a Friday or anything like that, or any day really besides a Wednesday, I'll swing by and I'll support you, bro. And
Are they always at highbrow, lowbrow?
no,
No.
they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
What's this one in the Domain? Isn't there like a comedy?
it's a comedy club too. Yeah, it's like right
Cap
across.
City.
Yeah, it's right across the street from Fleming's. It's like right
Yeah,
there.
I walked by it and I saw comedy and I was like, oh shit, I guess I got a comedy club here.
So
Have you been there or no?
Yeah, I've done the funniest person in Austin competition there twice.
How'd that go?
Well, I didn't win anything,
it's dang. I didn't.
but I
even
could beat up everyone in the competition.
There you go. There you go. And tell Matt I said hey. We'll get him on the pod too.
Well, what is your goals for MMA?
I have a Muay Thai fight in Houston next week.
Oh, okay.
I want to beat that guy up, and then I want to beat a bunch of people in Ju Jitsu. I love Ju Jitsu more than striking at the moment, and I'm looking forward to doing this Muay Thai fight so I can switch back. Because for the last like 2 years, I've been like, dude, striking's way cooler than Ju Jitsu. But I've been on a good wave with Ju Jitsu.
I don't know.
So.
Like having like such a good ground game is so beautiful to me. I know you. I don't know if you don't watch UFC a lot, but if you can go back and watch the Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo fight that was just recent, like their ground game, they're two of the best probably grapplers in the UFC. Their ground game, that whole fight was just phenomenal. Like somebody would execute something on offense, but like as soon as like it went like got on the back, like the defense was just like there. So like they couldn't like move forward with anything. Like on both ends, it was just beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. But again, like he said, thank you taking time out your day. I know you're busy, man. You got to get somewhere soon, so we appreciate it.
Thank you
means
guys.
a lot. Of course. But him and I'll try to make it out to one of your comedies.
For sure, yeah.
I'm gonna try the Golden Crickets, and then I'm about to get back in the gym soon because I need to lose some lbs. But I'm gonna try the protein as well. But he said the bars weren't bad.
I love them.
Yeah,
The bars my
because he
favorite.
was like, if like I just gave it to you and I didn't
Peanut
tell you
butter,
anything-
chocolate, banana.
Yeah, if I didn't tell you anything about it, like you would not think there are crickets in there. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna check those out. But we're gonna put all your socials in the description. They can go find you everywhere. They can go watch your viral video. Made us last show was funny. I watched it like 5 times. That shit was funny. But we'll put everything in the description. Go show them some love. Give them a like. Give them a follow. But that'll do it from your boys over here at Opinionated. We'll catch y'all guys next time. Peace.
Peace.